1.0 buttons, you don't want those buttons in the game. It shouldn't look like your start with an oval with a shine on it. No, those buttons are not going to work. So you need buttons that look integrated in the game. You know, if your game has a theme that is icy, you probably need icy buttons. If your game is dark theme, you probably need something like a weapon or darkness and all. You know, not it really shouldn't look like buttons that appear on the sites that we browse after 2 o'clock or something. So, all right, last one. You know the relation of color to age, mood, and scene and story. Color is a very important thing for artists. I don't know how many artists realize that, because everybody likes to draw vibrant and this thing. But if you're making a thriller game and your artist is drawing orange colors, popsicles, and candies and stuff like that, then something is wrong. Because each type of color, you know, there is a set of colors that appeals to children. There's a set of color that appeals to adults, to teenagers, and also changes depending on the scene and the story. So you need a lot of study on colors. So that's why I say it's really easy to, okay, it's not easy, you need the skill, but it's easy to probably copy something that is already there, but to come up with something, experiment with colors, that is kind of difficult. And if your artist doesn't know that, it's fine if he doesn't know that. If he doesn't want to learn that, then it is really tough. So that's artist bashing. Now a bit of common traits. I would say, I don't know if you agree or not, but I would say running an indie team is like running a startup, except that you're probably not going to get that seed funding so much, or Series A amount of, you know, take the $500,000 on your face. You know, that's probably not going to happen. You're going to end up probably broke. But some common traits between startups and indie hiring. If you're a startup working on a particular product, make sure that the person is interested in using that product. So if you're an indie gaming company startup, make sure the people you hire play games. All right, we had a policy in TuneHeart. We buy games, like 5 games every month for the developers. And if they do a task, for artists also, if they do good tasks and all, we buy them the game of their choice. But apparently, none of those Steam keys were ever claimed. What we found is a lot of torrents. So every day there would be a torrent download, and every day at least 1 or 2 movies would be watched, but you know, no gameplay. So we also had this policy that after lunch there is no work for 45 minutes. That's how we run TuneHeart. So 45 minutes you can actually play. We have an Xbox and you can go and play any game that you want. Those 45 minutes were spent on YouTube. So that's so it's difficult if you don't play games. You know, playing games is the best way to learn both good and bad games. If you play both good and bad games, your best way to learn what to do and what not to do, and best way to self compare and improve. So if you don't play a lot of games, then probably not the, you know, gaming industry is probably not for you. Requiring hand-holding and micromanaging. If you have to tell them every day and check up on them every hour, which is, I hate this thing, I hate to do this, but I had to do this, and if I have to check up on them every hour whether this is done, that's not happening. It is not a creative work at all, you know. Meticulousness missing, I don't even have to say that. If you're not meticulous, then you're missing out a lot of tiny details, like that performance thing, like that UI button, that color that went out, something that will irritate the user, and that will show your game as not enough professional or polished out in the market. So if you don't have meticulousness, it's missing. Missing vision of the game, I explained it already. 9 to 6 office syndrome, I think that's amazing thing. People think, you know, 9 to 6, creativity is going to hit me between 9 to 6. You know, it's, after that it's not going to hit me. Probably not at 3 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't hit me that way, you know. So at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the counter starts to think about when the 6 o'clock will come, you know. Holy shit, it's been 5 hours I've been working and it's only 2 minutes moved in the clock. Something must be wrong with the clock. So that happens a lot, and that doesn't really work in the creative industry. Absolutely not. I would say what we used to do is we used to give freedom. You can work from home, but sadly our developers actually worked even from home. They worked from 9 to 3 or 9 to 5. So we do not want you to risk. So as an indie, you're looking for somebody who could suddenly wake up at 3 o'clock and think, I got this idea, I'll probably code it now or probably draw it now. Okay? Not somebody will say that I'll wait for ideas at 9 to 6 and see, okay, if that happens, happens, if not, forget it. That's no interest in game jams. There was a talk, I think, is it later? Yeah, so why is game jam important for indies? Apparently game jam gives you, it's pretty awesome. It gives you less time to think, and it makes your brain work faster and more creative. And indies who don't like game jam, who don't want to get into game jam even for the fun of it, it's difficult. There are some indies, in fact some people we met, and they asked, why should I work for 72 hours? I'm like, work? Wait a second, is that work? No, that's not work. It's a game jam. It's not work. So people who cannot see the difference between work and game jam, avoid. No feeling of ownership of anything. It's a job. So we had a good experience of launching one of our games. I was launching the game, and I had no programmer support. The programmer is not around. So they didn't even bother how many downloads our game got, what happened to beta, did users give a review, did they bother about anything, was it good, bad, nothing. All they bothered is, did the game make any money? Every month they're like, did the game make any money? That's it. So if you're not having ownership of it, if a programmer or artist doesn't have ownership of it, and is not bothering about anything that is broken, that will be your headache at night 3 o'clock. Even after working 17 hours in a day, again you have to keep waking up to fix something so that users don't bash you later, because that is fire under your ass, not his ass. So if it's a job for them, it's not going to work out. If that's how it is. And what happens if you end up hiring or teaming up with such people? A little damage assessment. You will never ship the game, or it will be too late. You will be working on a Flappy Bird clone for 2 years, and it will never come out. You will abandon a lot of projects. Tons of time will be wasted in art and code. So basically, your life will be feeling like it's dragging and dragging, and nothing is happening. Nothing is going anywhere, just like this talk. And then financial burn. So if you're the studio head who's paying for everything, you will start selling off your car, your everything, your assets to keep paying the salaries. Or you could probably not pay salaries. I think there have been some cases that way also. And then the developers will bash you out, and you will probably quit out of the company. I mean, it really depends on what kind of a founder you are. I wouldn't say good or bad. So stress and breakdown, you lose a lot of hair. You can see, you lose a lot of hair. You'll also probably break down mentally. That's also going to happen because it is really frustrating when you put so many hours and so many hours into something, and it doesn't seem like moving. It doesn't seem like gaining an appreciation, right? Because we are humans. Psychology wise, we like to be appreciated. For any small thing, at least, we put an effort, we like to be appreciated. It's anybody who says it doesn't matter to me and all, I don't know, probably bullshitting, or is probably out of this world, is a guru or whatever. So that happens, and then it leaves a bad taste of working with new people. You want to go higher again, you'll be really critically thinking about that, and even if you find good candidates, you'll probably think the negative ways. That could happen. So, it gives you a negative feeling, just like the talk again. Kills the fun of being an indie. That's what is the main thing. The fun of being an indie. When I came and I wanted to be an indie, I was like, somebody told me that I could play games all night and it will be really easy. I'll become a millionaire soon. Something happened or something didn't happen. And so it killed the fun of being an indie. Somebody lied to me. Somebody played with my emotions now. So yeah, so that will kill the fun of being an indie. So that's the damage assessment. Now we'll close the talk soon. Just 4 slides. I'll give you a small task. Look at the 2 art here, 2 characters. Which one are you going to remember? Let's just say Cut the Rope wasn't released, or you don't know if it's not even famous. You know, look at it from that point of view. Which is the art you're going to probably remember? Right, left? Right? Why? You do not even know what it is. Sorry? Yeah, but left one, what can you tell me about left one? Yeah, sure.
The green whatever creature it is, okay. Most of the people remember just because the gulping animation of the candy. Otherwise, it's also, I think, if it's sitting there and closing the eyes, it's also become a generic character like the penguin. And I think if we can see the animations of the world and whatever reaction is happening with the penguin and the green guy, then with that, I can say the user will remember which one. I don't think so right now in the still image, and in a scenario where the cutter rope is not released, I don't think these both characters make any sense.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough. But let's say you are seeing the screenshots on the Google Play page, right?
Oh,
right.
All right.
So if you look at the left one, you're thinking, I've seen this image so many times. Like, it looks like a penguin, right? Yes? It does? Or not? It looks like a penguin. It looks like any other penguin, and thousands of other penguins that you will see when you Google search for an image. That's what happens when there's no creativity and you try to make a character of a penguin. That's actually from our game that we released this year. And on the right side, you do not even know which character it is. Probably a frog, probably a crocodile. I don't know, but it has features. It has, it's nothing close to real, but you can, it gives user to think about so many combinations that this could be this could be this. It lets them fantasize, all right? So that's how it is. So you put up a good team and you release a game finally. So is it done after game release? Is it really done? A lot of people believe, I don't know, we'll make the game and a lot of people will come download, play, this, that. That doesn't really happen. So we released this game in Android and BlackBerry only, Hopu. And we did something. I'll first give you the numbers. First of all, it's a crappy game. Okay, it was supposed to be a really frustrating game. It is frustrating game, but more frustration is added because the mechanics are not working right when we first released it. The FPS was like 17, okay, and it would lag. So basically, this guy is jumping over the spike, and just 1 second ago it will stop and then sit on the spike, and then something happens. So the sound would play slowly, or you know, with a delay and stuff like that. So it was that crap. And still, so the numbers are on BlackBerry. We released it in May, I think. 2 months later, we released it on Android. On BlackBerry, this is doing 13,000 downloads, and on Android, it is about 9,000 downloads. I have seen better games done by co-indies which are released before us, sitting at 300, that 100 to 500 bracket on Google Play. It's really sad. Why does that happen? Because apparently, what we did is, we took the game, we did improve the FPS later to 38, but what we did is we ran after all the media guys. I was literally knocking the door of BlackBerry guys every day because we put it on BlackBerry exclusive. So I was knocking the door. I would stand outside the cafe coffee day like this, you know, they're having coffee, and I wouldn't even leave them there, probably outside the loo also like this. So, you know, make sure that it's featured, it got mentions. And somehow, luckily, we also made a life hacker article. And what else? Yeah. So we did a lot of marketing, and then that's media marketing. The other end of marketing that we did is to go to the games that are similar, right? You get those suggestion games, right? Games like this. We went to those games. We found out the reviews, people who gave 1 star and all. Then we would message them saying that, hey, we saw that you didn't love that game. This is, and maybe you want to try this game and you want to do that. So we did that with hundreds of players. And apparently in 2 days our account got blocked by Google because it was like spamming, because same link being gone. So then we had to strategize that, and finally we did it somehow. And that's how the downloads are 21,000, zero marketing cost, except that we spent time on it. So yeah, it's not done on game release. You have to make sure you market it properly. You do the media, you do the PR, you update it, you study your users, you look at your analytics. I did not use Google Analytics. We wrote our own analytics for this one, and every day morning 5 o'clock I have an email for the last day's plays. So we know which user is getting, like how many users are getting stuck at level 4, level 6, and we've not seen, the game is so tough, we've not seen one person cross level 21. The only one person that's crossed level 21 is me. No, the programmer didn't cross level 19. I crossed at level 21. It took me 600 times to play the game. That was QA, quality testing. That's how you have to do. You have to make sure that everything works in the game. So how to keep going? Okay, fine, it is a tough world. So how to keep going? I would say, quick bullet list, work with the right people, find the right people, sync with the right people, work with it. Validate your vision, make sure you talk to a lot of game devs, show them your game, validate your vision, take the feedback, and then once you said that, okay, cool, this is done, then you stick to it. After that, you can, like, it's like in software development cycle, it's called feature freeze, right? You stick to it. After that, you'll meet a lot of publishers who will say you need 5 more IAPs and 10 more IAPs and bombard them with ads. Don't do that. Once you say that this is my version 1, you stick to that. Ignore DBs. DBs, anyone? What is DBs? Database? Douchebags. So every industry has douchebags. Their only sole purpose is to be negative, pull you down. They come in various shapes and sizes. They are sometimes co-indies, sometimes media guys, sometimes speakers at conferences. So that happens. Make good friends with co-indies. Show them your game. Good friends who will criticize your work. You have to find a difference between critic versus a DB, okay? So make good friends. Talk to your gamers. There was one instance I did with the tank game that we didn't even release. I went to a mall. It was called In Orbit Mall. I went at the KFC, I took a table, I put my game there, I put a lot of 5 stars there. Probably the first time somebody's done in India that. So we put a 5 star there, and anybody who passes by, I said, if you play my game and give me a feedback, I'll give you a 5 star. Thankfully, I did not get thrown out of the mall yet because I did not have permission. But I had a lot of people play the game, a lot of kids. Apparently 2 guys from EA were walking by. They also noticed, they played the game. Then there was one parent who said, he pulled out his kid. He said, I'm not going to let my kid play your game. I said, why? He said, you have to give me a contract and we have to sign it and this, that. Like, okay. So you'll also find that people. But then keep doing something that gives you a lot of feedback. That same day in the night I was sitting in the parking lot. I was also sitting on the footpath with 2-3 people around me and my car here and hiding behind the car, and we were looking at our game. So they were giving me feedback. That was a really wonderful day. There's a video on our YouTube or something about that. So, okay, study regions. If you are gonna make a Japanese style game, we actually make games that have a little bit of Japanese recipe. So if you are wanna release in Japan, China, or Northeast, something like that, then make sure you study the region. Every region, the gamers behave differently. Every region, the gamers like different sounds according to their culture. They like different sounds, different animation styles, different visuals, and different gameplay. So study your region first if you want to target the regions. Else, if you're going to take a wrong game to, let's say, you want to penetrate the Japanese market with a US type of a game, it's going to be difficult for you. And keep a hobby, because you're going to be under a lot of mental stress. So if you have a hobby that takes off the mental stress, I don't know, you could go fishing, go do photography, you know, if you have a DSLR, you're a photographer, anyway. So you could do that. And for me, biking works. I motorcycle across the country right now, so that works for me. And most importantly, be crazy. Crazy things are rewarded, I would say. Like for me, I believe in that cycle of life. If you give life extreme, it'll give you back extreme stuff. So you have to be crazy enough. You cannot be. There was one ad which was like, I will go join this college, and then there is tons of people. Meh, meh. Have you seen that ad? They'll just follow them like sheep, you know. So be crazy, be unique, be out of the world. Only then you get back. There's only one life. You get back amazing experience. Only if you go to the lens of being crazy. I mean, crazy good. I mean, don't hurt people being crazy. Bonus slide. This was not there when I submitted the talk. I was, excuse me, I was backpacking Malaysia and Singapore for 2 months on one single backpack to find investors and to expand my team. Apparently that didn't work out well. Nobody threw $1 million on my face, sadly. I would have loved to see that. But this is something I've, some points from Southeast Asian, excuse me, investors and producers, sorry, investors and publishers. Give me a minute, guys. All right. So if you're a single indie, they don't give shit. If you're a single indie, even with a good game, they don't give shit because everybody knows you need a team to get things done. All right, single indie, you will collapse. So if you're going to raise an investment, make sure you're not a single indie. You're not showing up alone and saying, I'm the one-man army, whatever. So second thing is polish before anything else. They'll only give you 3 minutes or 2 minutes to look at your game and make sure you show the most polished bits. Don't show them, if the game is not polished, don't show them. Yeah, that's, so this talk should be named like coughing session. So if your game is not polished, don't show them because